In this video, we'll explore how the wise teachings of Lao Tzu can help you find meaning in your life. Have you ever found yourself pondering the meaning of life or wondering about your purpose on this beautiful planet? If you've ever had these thoughts, know that you are not alone. It's pretty clear that many people are constantly seeking ways to make their lives more meaningful. If you're one of them, you'll find Lao Tzu's wisdom to be incredibly valuable. Lao Tzu is an ancient Chinese philosopher credited with inventing Taoism and authoring the Tao Te Ching. His ideas have withstood the test of time. Although the Tao Te Ching was written centuries ago, it has been passed down through generations, and it has changed how millions of people look at the world. The Tao Te Ching contains Lao Tzu's core lessons, some of which can guide you toward discovering your life's true purpose. In this video, we've put together 6 lessons that can point you in the right direction. So, without further ado, let's get down to it. Lesson 6. Don't force anything. In the pursuit of the Tao, every day something is dropped. Less and less do you need to force things until finally you arrive at non-action. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. This quote is derived from chapter 48 of the Tao Te Ching, where Lao Tzu discusses the idea of not forcing. He says that forcing is counterproductive because it goes against the natural flow of things, and doing this will only get you into trouble. In life, we often make the mistake of thinking we can force things even when force is not necessary. You believe that if you push hard enough, you'll achieve your goals or arrive at your desired destination. While some circumstances do get better when you keep working hard at them, others don't. This is why Lao Tzu stresses the importance of always taking into account the rules of nature. So, instead of fighting against certain circumstances in your life, let things unfold as they may. But, of course, this also implies that you should refrain from acting if you are unsure of what to do. And don't take any risks until you're sure you can handle them. This lesson does not allow you to run away from your problems or avoid challenges. The goal is to identify the circumstances over which you have influence and those over which you do not. In this way, you can relax and enjoy life even when things don't go as planned. Lesson 5. Don't overburden yourself. In chapter 24 of the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu says, "He who stands on his tiptoes does not stand firm. He who stretches his legs does not walk." These days, people are willing to push themselves too far. Unfortunately, it's something that happens a lot in our society. You see, pushing limits is okay because it is a necessary part of personal development. But when it gets out of hand, it can hurt your life. Picture this. You get a mortgage that you can barely afford. So you have to keep working at that stressful job just to keep up with the payments. Yes, you'll get a big house in the short term, but you'll have to stay on the hamster wheel and never drop below a certain income level. In other words, you're tied down to a payment plan, and you cannot switch to a less demanding job if doing so will reduce your income. That's one. Scenario 2 is you're a student hoping to improve your academic performance, so you start overstudying, and you neglect your mental or physical health. Of course, it's essential to study hard, but when you repeatedly do it without resting, you exhaust your mind. And because you haven't given your mind and body time to recover, you won't be able to understand or remember the information in the end. While it's admirable that you want to improve your intelligence, exhausting yourself is a sure way to fail. Lao Tzu would call both of these situations standing on tiptoes, because he believes we lose our balance when our feet aren't firmly on the ground. He stresses the importance of striking a balance between work and rest, saying that both are necessary for optimal wellness. He also agrees that going beyond what we can handle might help us get more work done in the short term, but he warns that it will make us weak and vulnerable in the long run. So, if you take Lao Tzu's advice, you should always try to keep both feet firmly on the ground, meaning that you should keep a sensible and practical attitude to life. Take on only what you can handle. When you take on this advice, it will be easier for you to master the next crucial lesson on our list. Lesson 4. Be content. In chapter 33 of the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu asserts that those who know they have enough are truly wealthy. As we tend to overburden ourselves, we also have this terrible habit of gathering way more than we need. We can also see how the wealthy strive relentlessly to increase their fortune. For them, what matters most is accumulating more possessions. Our needs come with natural limits. We only need enough food and water to keep us energized and hydrated throughout the day. Consuming too much is harmful. Most often, we tend to accumulate material possessions in excess because we are afraid of not having them. That has to do with pride. For some, wealth is a symbol of self-improvement. We also worry that we won't have enough money and other resources in the future. Yet, as we all know, the future is never guaranteed. Death can come at any time, and with it, the loss of all our possessions. But this does not mean you have to stop planning for the future. Actually, you should, but do so with Lao Tzu's advice in mind that whoever knows contentment will be at peace forever. Lao Tzu continues by saying that the only way you can know when you have enough is to understand that the value you assign to material possessions is fictitious. None of these things defines who you are as a person. This rule applies to everything, including our own bodies. He adds that the desire to possess so much can cause stress, yet our tolerance also has limits. So, while having a lovely home or savings might be nice, don't let them rule your life. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more related content. Thank you very much. Lesson 3. Recognize your faults. In chapter 24 of the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu states, "Those who call themselves righteous can't know how wrong they are." In this verse, Lao Tzu advises us to learn to accept our mistakes and find ways to correct them. He also says you shouldn't take it personally when people point out your flaws. Instead, you should see them as lessons you can learn from that will help you grow. In other words, don't let your mistakes define you or make you feel bad about yourself. Instead, learn from them and become a better person. Admitting that you made a mistake is one of the most challenging things to do, because it can hurt your pride. But sometimes you can benefit from the very thing that hurts your pride. So, figure out your weaknesses and use that information to grow spiritually and intellectually. You can do this through self-reflection or by observing others and learning from their mistakes. The key to mastering this lesson is recognizing and accepting your flaws. But if you believe you are perfect, you are less likely to reflect on your actions and evolve as a person. Lesson 2. Compete to improve. In chapter 4 of the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu also teaches us about healthy competition, as he warns that those who try to outshine others dim their own light. According to Lao Tzu, competition should be a fair game. He suggests that instead of viewing competition as a means to boost your ego, you should consider it a means to develop your abilities. Competition can become harmful when it's used to put other people down. It's one thing to be driven by self-interest, but it's quite another to try to hurt the performance of others on purpose. Not only does this derogatory behavior hurt other people, but it also hurts the person doing it. For this reason, Lao Tzu teaches us not to wish ill on our fellow competitors. On the contrary, he believes that everyone should give their best effort to improve the quality of competition, and that regardless of who wins or loses, everyone should have learned something from the experience. So, to avoid unhealthy competition, you should concentrate on the process rather than the end result. When you solely focus on the outcome, you cultivate a do whatever it takes to succeed attitude, and this can lead to a variety of poor decisions and unethical behavior. Lesson 1. Let go of your expectations. As we plan our lives, we usually make predictions about the future, and these speculations often shape our expectations. These predictions may not always be accurate. In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu advises us to let go of expectations, find flow, and live in the present. When you worry so much about the future, you forget to enjoy and appreciate the moment. But if you let go of expectations, you can be more engaged and involved in your daily life. Getting rid of expectations seems like a scary idea. You might feel like you are abandoning your goals, but on the contrary, you are taking control of your own life and happiness. When you let go of your expectations, you release yourself from a great deal of frustration and anxiety. Even though it's hard to give up control, the truth is that you can't know what life will throw at you. When your expectations aren't met, it may be both disheartening and infuriating, leaving you with a pessimistic attitude toward life. But this doesn't mean you should be walking around with a negative perspective on life. When things don't turn out how you thought they would, understand that life has challenges and try to stay positive. The practice of letting go of expectations requires deep self-reflection. You need to be true to yourself and be honest about what you can accomplish. This will give you the power to make decisions that can help you live a happy, fulfilling life. As I conclude, remember this: finding meaning in life isn't going to happen overnight. It may take a while to find what you're searching for. There will be highs and lows along the way. Some days you'll feel like you're so close to finding your purpose. Other days, you'll feel like it's so far away that you'll never get there. Above all, remember that you only have one life. So, while you go through this process, be kind and patient with yourself. That brings us to the end of the video. Thank you for watching and staying with me till the end. If you have any comments or thoughts you would like to share, please do so in the comments section below. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Lastly, remember to like and share this video with your family and friends. And remember to subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Until next time, have a lovely day.